In 1976, two brothers from New Jersey walked away from a basketball negotiation with a piece of paper. The paper had no expiration date. 46 years later, the NBA was still writing them checks. The brothers' names were Ozzie and Daniel Silna. They weren't basketball people. They were textile manufacturers from New Jersey who got rich selling polyester during the disco era. In 1974, they spent approximately $1 million to buy a failing basketball team in the American Basketball Association, a league most people have forgotten existed.
I thought I knew a little bit about the ABA.
Yeah.
I knew nothing. It's such a fascinating look back, and not just the ABA, but what the ABA led to in terms of modern basketball.
They moved the team to St. Louis. They called it the Spirits. The Spirits played 2 seasons. They never won a championship. They barely filled the arena. But before the league folded, the Silna brothers sat down with the NBA. The NBA was absorbing 4 ABA teams. The Spirits weren't one of them.
The 4 teams from the ABA that went into the NBA were the Denver Nuggets, the Indiana Pacers, the San Antonio Spurs, and the New York Nets.
The NBA owners did not want a team back in St. Louis.
They didn't think St. Louis was ready for NBA play. They didn't think they were financially stable.
The league offered the Silnas a buyout, a flat check, walk away. The Silnas said no.
The Silnas were not happy. They were very unhappy. They held out. We want to be part of the NBA. We want to be part of the NBA. We want to be part of the NBA.
The Spirits owners, they wanted this adventure to continue. They wanted to leverage this into a place in the league. And when that couldn't happen, they devised their own plan.
In 1976, NBA playoff games were broadcast on tape delay after the 11 o'clock news. The league's television deal was worth less than $25 million per year. Nobody in that room thought television was going to change the world. 1/7 of almost nothing. That was the first check, year 1.
I guess what you could have called at the time a throwaway provision, which gave the brothers, and also their attorney who had a 10% claim in this.
Gotta make sure the attorneys get paid.
That's right. It gave them 1/7 of those 4 remaining teams from the ABA, their broadcasting rights and media rights in perpetuity, which means forever.
And when you say 1/7 of the revenue?
So 1/7 of the revenue from each of those 4 teams. Okay. So it equates to about 2% of today's NBA. Now, you have to understand at the time, the other owners probably laughed at this because there was no broadcasting rights. There was no media. I mean, you're talking about the NBA at the time wasn't even playing games live on television. But this was just a few years before Showtime. You had Magic Johnson, you had Larry Bird, Michael Jordan coming into the fold. Now all of a sudden, media revenue is coming in.
By 2014, the brothers had collected approximately $300 million, and the NBA had just announced a new television deal worth $24 billion.
Now, after that 2007 contract deal, the league in 2014 announced a 9-year, $24 billion extension with Turner, ABC, and ESPN. That was then the second most expensive media rights deal in the world, and it put the NBA's media revenue on par with the Premier League.
The league did the math. They called the Silnas.
Get into the 2010s, it was estimated that they were making approximately $15 million per year. Over the life of this agreement, it was estimated that they had made somewhere in the $300 million plus. Now, this became a thorn in the NBA's side. And so in 2014, the NBA said, listen, enough's enough. Let's see if we can broker some type of buyout. And it is estimated, or it's been reported, that the Silna brothers got a buyout in 2014 of $500 million for their rights and revenue, which is a heck of a deal when you're talking about that team at the time had not played in 40 years.
But here's what nobody tells you about that document. It said something else. The same year the Silnas negotiated their television share, the merger agreement made a promise to the players. The men who played those games, who filled those arenas for 9 years in the league that competed with the NBA for the best players in the world, were promised a pension. Moses Malone, Julius Erving, Artis Gilmore, George Gervin. The ABA gave the NBA the three-point line, the slam dunk contest, and an entire generation of Hall of Famers. In March 1978, 2 years after the merger, the ABA legally dissolved as an entity.
Well, at the time, I think it was good because both leagues were struggling a little bit, even though the NBA doesn't like to acknowledge that they were struggling. Both leagues needed that merger. The disappointment, like Michael said, was that with the merger agreement, every ABA player was supposed to be treated like an NBA player. That's the big key. And then the other thing was all the things that the ABA brought to the NBA. The slam dunk contest, the three-point shot, the up and down the court. You watch the NBA today, I think you'll see a lot of the ABA in that. So the effect and what we want to see happen today, the game is great, but you want to see as many of the ABA players get the justified, rightly deserved benefits that they deserve.
3 former ABA players filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of 204 men who had played in the league and never received a pension. The lawsuit settled. Same document, same year, same league. The men who built the product that generated the television value that made the Silna's deal worth $800 million received a one-time settlement of approximately $4,000. One piece of paper, 2 outcomes. In July 2022, 46 years after the merger, the NBA and the Players Association announced what they called recognition payments for surviving ABA players. Not pensions, recognition payments. The NBA's current collective bargaining agreement expires December 31st, 2029. The next negotiation will decide what the players are worth. The owners already know what a piece of paper with no expiration date is worth. This is Beyond the Buzzer. We read the fine print so you don't have to.